Dr. Raj Kalsi is a board-certified emergency medicine physician. He joins me now from Illinois. It's good to see you again, Doctor. I wanted to ask about your concerns about this notion that vaccinated people, even though they won't get as sick or die as the unvaccinated, can spread the variant just as easily.
Yeah, so the Delta variant is a player we didn't anticipate. Some of us did anticipate it, the virologists, but we were hoping that this thing would have been over and done with. But the concern is that the new data that came out from the CDC says that the vaccinated people can spread the variant as much as non-vaccinated people, or maybe just a little less than that. This is concerning because there's already a great schism amongst people who are vaxxers and anti-vaxxers, and now you're telling them that they can spread it regardless. It's very concerning because what do you do? Do you go back on lockdown? Do you mitigate with masking and closing down infrastructure? Or do you move forward and anticipate this concept of herd immunity? So it's concerning on all aspects.
If vaccinations were, at least in part, about breaking the chain of infection, if infections are continuing, is the notion of herd immunity becoming out of reach because of this variant?
So a couple concepts. One is herd immunity is still something we can achieve. So for all the people that have been vaccinated, they are vaccinated. And then those who are getting the illness, the new Delta variant that chose not to get vaccinated, they're getting essentially forced into a vaccine, right? This is natural immunity from the disease itself. They didn't want the vaccine, but they're going to get the illness, and hopefully they don't die from it or have any of these long-haul symptoms because of it. Or this herd immunity thing takes too long, and by the time we do get herd immunity to the current Delta variant, there's a Lambda variant or a Gamma variant or some new variant, Omega variant, that is not only more contagious but also more deadly.
That leads me into my next question. I mean, when we look at countries with low vaccination rates, not to mention dozens of countries which can't even get vaccines, there are risks, obviously, in a global sense. I mean, to your point, I had a doctor last week say that Delta isn't the last letter in the Greek alphabet. Do you fear more and stronger and more deadly variants, ones that could defeat the vaccines?
It's always a fear on my mind. And recall, I'm an ER doctor, boots on the ground. I'm not the guy thinking in the think tank at the CDC or wherever the virologists sit and ponder, public health. That being said, I think we're scientifically, based on all the data that I'm reading, we're still very far off from a extremely contagious and extremely deadly virus. However, nothing that we've anticipated has really come to fruition with this pandemic. Everything is really defying everything we projected, so that's a bit scary.
And when it comes to your boots on the ground status, I mean, what are you seeing in terms of people with the virus who are perhaps unvaccinated? Are you seeing a lot of buyer's remorse or non-buyer's remorse?
At times I am, and they're heartfelt stories. The people that are very sick and regrettably lamenting the fact that they didn't get vaccinated. Also, we're seeing people that got vaccinated with Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, or some other Moderna, and they're getting COVID, and they did all the right things, and they moved forward in their life appropriately according to the guidelines, and they're getting COVID, albeit I feel like they're getting a less severe COVID, which is a good thing, and it's less likely for a vaccinated person to get the Delta variant. That being said, you're starting to see an uptick in admitting people in one of my bigger institutions with the Delta variant.
And less likely to die. I mean, I think the latest statistic I saw was 99% of deaths are unvaccinated people, which makes it all a bit of a no-brainer. I think the argument sort of stops there, really, when it comes to vaccinations. But I wanted to ask you just quickly before we go, in the US, there are the new mask mandates, moves by companies as well as the federal government to require workers to be vaccinated. Similar moves in Europe, green passes and so on. Are these tactics the right way to go? Are there risks in coercion versus persuasion?
Listen, I'm an American. I was born and raised here. I believe in autonomy. I believe in freedom of speech. And I support Americans that feel like their autonomy is being violated by being mandated to be vaccinated. That being said, the double-edged that sword is if you get COVID, you could die from it. You could have a long-haul set of symptoms, I should say, from COVID, and that's on you. You make your choice and you lay in bed with it, and that's on you. But there's two edges to every side of this, and I believe in human autonomy, and people have a right to make that determination. However, this time it's affecting everybody.
Yeah, that's the point. You have your freedoms as long as they don't impinge on my health, and that's the ongoing argument. Dr. Raj Kalsi, got to leave it there. Appreciate your time. Always good to see you.
You too, Michael. Thank you so much for having me.